Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today I will beat the entirety of Coromon using only one Lunarpup. Lunarpup, or rather Ecliptor, is the most used playthrough Coromon, more than the starters even, and is basically universally loved as his cool, strong sweeper Coromon, which seems to have been made simply to be popular among fans. It's a great Coromon PvP wise too, being the second fastest in the game, while also possessing a great move pool with Howl, Moonlight, a bunch of mixed coverage moves like Crunch, Illusion Slice, utility like Shared Fate and Ignite, along with Scream and Scary Face. It even has a priority move if the speed wasn't good enough for you. It also has some good traits, mainly Dark Atmosphere, which helps get rid of your opponent's setting up, and also removes contact from your attacks, so Glassy Kid and the like don't threaten you anymore, and Menacing, which lowers the opponent's attack by one stage, making you leave at least one attack for most things. All sets you see nowadays are with a fully evolved Ecliptor due to the devolved traits not being good enough. Yeah, that's enough said. Predictions for the run, I have a feeling I'll either use Menacing or whatever other trait drops my stat least. Most items will be mid-level difficulty besides Chalchiu, who will give me war flashbacks. Here are the rules. Only Lunarpup in battle. I will have other Coromon for their sporting outside of battle, but they won't help me with anything in battle. Smarter Coromon on, for obvious reasons. I can't skip trainers willingly. I gotta try my best to beat every trainer, no matter the shape and size. No cakes in battle, no glitches or exploits, no evasion or accuracy boosting moves, and optional rule, always keep the trainer levels a bit higher than normal, since that makes things way more fun. Alright, time to get started, and don't bother trying to get a good potential, we can worry about that later. Only thing I care about for the time being is having Menacing, because early game mounts are all physical. Now it's time to begin our journey, and oh yeah, I set the levels higher so Cap 0 leveled up and he can frost jump me down now. I lost that one battle, but Jesus was a fluke and just try again. Okay, another fluke. And then yet another and another. Some more and yeah, okay, I give up. So I redid the prologue without increasing the opponent's levels, and now we're back. I held off on naming the Lunarpup. I mostly just slam on the keyboard and just go with whatever comes up, or maybe I name it after someone, but nothing really came to mind today. Ghost types are really OP early on, since everything has either normal or hard type skills. Menacing also does a lot because everything is physical, so he's basically invincible or very close to that until the opponents reach level 15 or something. Because of this, he was able to take out Beazle at level 7, and things were even crazier for the poor victims of his jumping. In Wood of Forest, he unlocked Howl, and the moment that happened, the balance in the world itself had changed, as if Gojo Satoru reborn again as dog. From here on out, all the future trainer battles were like this. Menacing an opponent, stop with Howl, and then just boom, 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 and boom. Even the fuse box and Crimsonite Lumen aren't safe. It was like watching an isekai anime. And as if it didn't need any more power-ups, we can use the free potent stone provided each save from the shop over here, and save reset until we manage to get a potential 20 Lunarpup. Once we get the desired potential, we can then potentiate to guarantee an easy perfect Lunarpup every run. With this opportunity, I named him Phobos, because Phobos is a small moon belonging to a red planet, so I figured I probably won't find anything better for now, and it's just good to name him early on. The power tower poses no threat, so I challenged Voltgar, already having one in my mind. I picked up the Ignite skill somewhere along the way and thought that, along with Howl and Crunch, was gonna take care of Voltgar, but I forgot one crucial detail. My potential points were all over the place, as I was indecisive if I should go physical or special. Completely forgetting that I need to invest time on my special defense to beat Voltgar, just like I had to do like, I don't know, every other challenge run I have ever done in my life. There is a lot of them. Ignoring that huge blunder, I went in guys level 40, past what Luna Wolf would normally evolve into Ecliptor. By refusing the evolution and also the levels gained, I got the boost I needed and returned to the fight. I used the same strategy as before, but once I saw his damage output, I thought I had this in the bag. I set up to +6 attack and proceeded to eat him alive with my puppy teeth. Time froze and I realized one super punch and it's all over. With my life seemingly on the line, I begin thinking how I can possibly get out of this dilemma. Do I throw this phone away and move to Mexico? Change my name to Ao Mao Zhungang and move to China to live my dreams as a chef? All the possibilities rush my mind. However, before any of them had time to unfold, Koro showed me mercy and saved me by having Voltgar recover a speed at same turn, meaning I could fate attack next round and finish him off. I am not looking forward toward Illuginn, but onward to Soggy Swamp we go, where my boy ate a bunch of frogs and cats. Maybe too many, in fact, because they seem to either hate me now or worship me, seeing as they isekai'd me. The time the strongest for me lord to incarnate as a cat is here. I must say that the story was a bit rushed, or maybe I took a wrong turn somewhere. After all, I didn't get a harem or some super OP powers that nobody seems to notice until I get kicked out for being weak. But that's only until I level up once and figure out my abilities actually super strong and actually kill God itself. So yeah, I must have messed up somewhere along the way. But yeah, we're closing in on episode 12, so now I got to fight the Demon Lord. I tried out a number of strategies here. First of all, using Type Gem, Ignite, 1 hour, and then Soul Crash, but I fall short and get Soul Crash disabled and lose. Next time we have the same strat, but instead of Type Gem, I use the Cow Fruit to cure the Sleeping Flakes with Hypnotize, giving me an extra turn as he needs to use Hypnotize twice. Also meaning that I can use Soul Crash one more time before he attacks, meaning that I now take 30% less damage. With this I can actually take hits now, but again, he disables my Soul Crash. Next attempt goes similar, but I remember I'm not using this last stand at all. I was supposed to try out Canoe Fruit somewhere along the way, and last stand was there like in case like I don't know I'm at like 3 HP, I can last stand and like take another hit, and a Canoe activation gives me like another turn or two. But I just didn't do that. I equipped Shadowrunner instead, so as not to be doomed once he disables Soul Crush, and with that I finally took down Illuginn. Still, I would have never expected to use a Gawa Fruit and actually have it be an important part of the strategy. What's next, a Cranny Fruit? After I saw I might have been isekai'd again for the second season, I wasted no time and started beating up some new guys to level up and get my super OP skill that I was apparently kicked out of the kingdom for, and that's why I'm in this desert here. And then it happened. His arrival was foretold in the ancient light novel scriptures. Moon Knight. So beautiful. I soon got thrown into jail though. Maybe because of the fact that I unleashed the evil seal onto the world. Or maybe it's just the fate of isekai protagonists who always end up against unnecessarily evil guys. But it doesn't matter too much, as I easily escaped by using my Lunarpup summon to knock out this guy. I made my way to Alon's chambers, but I got interrupted by the guard captain. I'm excited for a good battle, but then I got reminded I have Healing level up turned on. Normally it's for convenience until after I beat Sart and get my team of water mounts, but this was a special case. Titans don't level me up until after I beat them, and regular trainers aren't important enough to warrant turning it off for. But the guard captain is supposed to be important, so it kinda ruins the fun. You can't run away from this battle without losing money, so I couldn't go back to the campus and just turn it off real quick. And thus I decided to just count my SP and HP and recover SP when I would have run out without the level up recovery. Overall, the actual fight was nothing too special, just set up and spam attacks. I probably paid more attention to counting my SP and HP than the actual match. Post battle I would have been left with around 30 HP and SP was recovered properly, so I qualified for a fair fight here. Now time to battle the Intestinal Gas Titan. Using Moonlight and Rubber Web, I set up to pass 6 special defense and Soul Crushed him to know tomorrow. Or at least that was the plan. I was always trying to get into the best possible position, but lining up so many factors was really hard. Especially the hazy making me only able to heal every other turn, along with Boulder Barrage knocking me down and giving me demo CBF flashbacks. I lost this attempt because my prep was not flawless enough. After this followed another attempt that is the same in essence but at variables change. First of all, the item. Change from Type Gem to Canoe Fruit. I don't have a Revitalizer Gem yet. Next thing was the change from Rubber Web to Mighty Roar, but Rabo has a worse effect in the long run than Mighty Roar. It needs to be put up again and again every 5 rounds. Plus I can spam Mighty Roar to my heart's content as it had 0 SP cost, and that I was able to minimize any variables besides HZ and SP management. When I triggered his second phase and the beast came out, I attacked Sart back first since he's the only one who can actually do much. Caledon mainly goes for Revenge Jaws and Sand Spout, so they're not really a threat, but Sand Spout still does make you hazy, so that's annoying. After you deal with those and get back to Sart, you got a Mighty Roar until you attack back to -6 for no particular reason really. I don't know, maybe it's just instinct. Anyway, you want to do that, and then, once all shackles of holding on to previous negative experiences are gone, you are free to evolve beyond your current self and deliver that final, soul-crushing blow. Now it's time for the Light Sensei battle. First thing I do is set the wild Coromon levels as high as possible, because the higher my total level, the less of a difference those extra 5 levels end up making. First strategy wanted to outstall Arcturus with Moonlight, which didn't work. After that I tried a strategy that used Twilight and Lantern's empathetic against it, by lowering its attack with Howl and also setting up Moonlight to try to outstall it and hit it on turns when I had HP left over, but also be very bulky on the special side for when Arcturus would come in, so I'd be able to live attack if it was faster than me. His last amount of Wall Brute wouldn't be a problem since it's slow and the high level skills it has are all special and it's a tanky mon, so I completely removed it from the equation from here on out. I tried and tried countless times, but with my setup it wouldn't work. I simply didn't have enough recovery even if everything went according to plan. I needed to give Lunarpup the Vitalizer gem, but items you give Titan's Coromon disappear along with the Coromon when you defeat him. And the point is, I caught the multi and gave it to Lumberjack Jack for the Vitalizer gem, which I used. But even so, I had to always keep the main save saved before I caught Lunarpup, as if I try to reset the Coromon he gave me, I don't get the item back. And because I have no idea how many strategies I'll need before I find the right one, I do that to use the Revitalizer gems. Luckily, you can easily retry battles against Light Sensei, so the attempt grinding was no issue. Now time to actually try that strategy out. And after trying it, I realized the absolutely most optimal outcome would still only get me to a stalemate at best. Though I can't find the footage for that strangely enough, but it did happen, and I'm stuck at 50 HP in a stalemate, spamming Moonlight the whole time. But I started experimenting with lower levels that influence the strength of Light Sensei's Coromon instead of my own. Arcturus seems to be weak at level 47, because he changed Glass Cannon and Twilight counters it, plus I have Inner Peace. And Atlanta is weak at 37 because he devolves at 38 and gets a huge stat boost. At first I tried to just catch a Lunarpup at those levels, -5, but I can't choose which Coromon he leads with. So whenever I prep a Lunarpup for that Lantern, he chooses Arcturus, and vice versa. The only strategy is to find a level where I can beat both of them at the same time. But seeing as I can't beat them even individually, I was not very hopeful. But no matter how dire the situation, my Mahoraga wheel keeps spinning. I experimented a bit and looked for certain ways I can constantly get lead Coromon sent out. Finally, I came upon this strategy, where I find a level 42 Lunar Wolf with that Atmosphere, giving the Canoe Fruit, Inner Peace, and Ball of Darkness. From that he leads with that Lantern, which only has special moves and tail shot at level 47, which would normally be bad because Moonlight can't outstall it, but if I use Inner Peace, my special event gets increased, and his special attack gets decreased at the same time because of Empathy and Twilight acting together. So after 3 turns only, he can barely put a dent in me, and if it tail sweeps, I can just ninja stance. I step all the way down to my fruit, heal up and sweep. I got this first run which was successful, but I still had level up healing on, so I decided to turn it off and try again to get better footage. So I do that, but when I come back and try again, I instantly lose. First thing I noticed was my fruit was missing, but even worse, I level up my Lunarpup, and because of that, Light Sensei's Atlantan also levels up, and got to level 48, which unlocked Crystal Barrage and completely ruined my strategy. I was distraught because catching the exact perfect Lunarpup always takes at least 1 hour of riding, and Lunarpup is extra rare. It has to be a level 42 from a range of 38 to 43, and also have the ultra rare Dark Atmosphere trait, so that's a 1 in 250 chance for each Lunarpup I looked for so far in this entire month of Light Sensei attempts. By now I've lost count of how many I needed. I can barely hold myself sane, but even so, I put myself together and wanted to hunt some more. But I even more devastatingly realize that I didn't reset my license in Coromon and don't have any light sensei spinners on me, meaning I would have to go all the way back to Light Sensei, tell him to give me my spinners back, and find yet another ultra rare full art 1997 limited edition Grey Eyes White Doggy level 42 Dark Atmosphere Lunar Wolf. I was absolutely appalled seeing that. Motivation hit rock bottom long ago, and even though I had the exact strategy I needed to beat him, the thought of spending any more time looking for the perfect Lunarpup was a huge dread. Every single cell in my body wanted to wait another day, another minute, before I opened up the game again and hunted some more for the perfect Lunarpup. The days were passing with no progress, watching anime to distract myself, thinking about what to cook tomorrow, really just anything to try and distract myself from the fact that I felt a sense of duty to boast, and now I'm not fulfilling that and doing other unproductive things. The color was slowly fading from my world. Things began to merge into one another and the days just kept passing. At most I'd open up a game and do some PvP testing for the next CCC tournament. The sight of a Lunarpup in the PvP teams I used was a great reminder of how I'm running away. Constantly comparing myself to my past self, who so effortlessly churned out bangers one after the other. Things were looking dark as if Illuginn took my soul already. I was ready to give up at any moment and just move on as if Light Sensei was so easy it wasn't even worth discussing, or if it wasn't even in the game. But, you know, all this reminded me of someone I met in the past. My first love, you could say. I was visiting Germany when I first met her. I went to a restaurant with my friend. I sit down at the table the waiter guided me to, and there she was, right across from me. She had beautiful red hair, shiny white skin, and was wearing a dress of warm tones when I met her. She was Asian and very sweet, sometimes a little spicy though. I had a smile the whole time, and with her right in front of me, that was when I decided to specialize in Asian cuisine. I thought that maybe, just maybe, in doing that, I would be able to see her again. As I left the restaurant, I never saw her again. She took a piece of my heart with her when she left, but that's okay. I know I'll see her again, and maybe smile again. Oh, how I miss you. Szechuan chicken with vegetables inside of rice. Uh, anyway, yeah, I just kept hunting and found another Lunarpup after 10 minutes. I used any feat Light Sensei as I mentioned before, and yeah, bro, it really wasn't that serious. Or was it? You know, maybe it was that serious. Sure, when I beat him, I wrote the ending to the script. Maybe at a certain moment, I felt happy, and as if all the struggles seemed meaningless. Even if, in reality, it wasn't like that. I was actually feeling guilty for not doing more. I was feeling inferior compared to my younger self. The grinding was indeed something I dreaded every day, but alongside it, I found a new beauty I hadn't seen before. I can simply stop right now, leave whatever I was doing and come back whenever. There is no stress to do it right now. I have absolute freedom. Coming from a life where I always lack control over the big things, I've always been scared of not giving it my all 100% of the time. Always been afraid not to act, as I lose control. Always been afraid that if I don't act now, I won't be able to get what I want. But here, things are different. I can take however long a break I want, go through infinite character development arcs, and finish whatever I'm doing here whenever I wish. Sure, I may get comments asking on the progress. Sure, I may have a general consensus that I need to finish it. But above all here, I have absolute freedom. No one to box me in if the video takes a year. No one to compete against. No one to take what I have from me. The discomfort of grinding the Lunarpup was real. So was the discomfort of the saddest moves on Run. They were both very real, both made me feel like I wasn't doing enough, and the things I spent so long worrying about were really going to bite me at any moment, even if they're downplayed by a joke right after to loosen the mood. But so what if they were real? I still have the freedom to leave and attempt again whenever I wish, and everyone will still be waiting. I can take a month, a year, maybe more, take that time to find myself again, and return when I'm capable of bearing that burden again. And now I'm back, as someone capable of going past that discomfort again. Someone who can see the beauty in that pain and the view at the peak. I'm sure I'll feel disheartened again, feel as if I should have done better, been stronger, just gotten it over with already. But I'm also just as certain that I'll rise again. The pain won't be gone, but it won't be meaningless, for the same patterns that I was sorry to see my reflection in before will be the ones I joyfully jump in tomorrow. Don't pray for easier times, pray to be stronger men. And so since Tide Sensei were down, I then went on to deal with Hozai next. My first strategy involved a Revitalizer Gem, Inner Peace and Bewitch combo. He always wants to burn any opponent, so I can use Bewitch to stop that, which also grants him one free turn to heal with Revitalizer. And I Inner Peace and Menacing all the way until plus 5 special attack. This run was full because he used Tempest to force me out since I left team starting my squad. All the other attempts ended because Hozai drained all my SP and I didn't live to deal the finishing blow. I then needed my potential points to get rid of speed and SP for HP, which did help out a bit, but I can't stall for time too long, since all of his moves eventually do burn me. And after that happens, it's just game over. I tried using Ninja Stance to drain his SP and also allow me to heal some more before I trigger Pure Essence and maybe live to recover SP, but it isn't enough since he raised his attack by 2 stages in the end. In the end, I used Rubber instead, which caused him to use Fiery Breath on me, which was an upgrade, but he was still at plus 2 and also burned me. But I somehow escaped alive. If you call burned and at 2 HP alive, that is. Alright, next up we have the triple A fight. The scale of World Coromon levels, so right now it's plus 50% on level 68. First strategy was Inner Peace and Cannon Fruit. Failed. Second strategy was Inner Peace and Dali Fruit. Failed. Third strategy was Potential Points Optimize and Inner Peace Dali Fruit. Worked even worse than before somehow. Fourth strategy lowered the levels to plus 35% or 61. Also failed but less than before. Fifth one lowered to plus 23% or level 56. They started spamming Mutilation Beam because that is a surprisingly low level move, which past me was oblivious about. It was quite bad because of the speed drops. Sixth strategy went down to plus 50% or level 52 and managed to secure a win. After that we need to get to Thomas. If I remember correctly, even though he's a trainer, his levels scale of all Coromon levels because it's Crimsonite Coromon something. So yeah, for that I changed back to physical attacks and howl, since there are some very bulky boys and I can't set up inner pieces while Yuka Claw Shadow runs at me. At first I tried to use Howl and Shadow Runner to set up while using my Knul Fruit and then just sweep, but it was really hard getting Yuka Claw Shadow Runs to not lower my important stats. But even if I don't, I can't one-shot the very bulky Coromon, leading to a revenge KO and my death. I changed my potential points again to be more physically bulky and also tried a special build on a whim, but he actually snapped Scintilla instead. I experimented a bit to see what triggers this and it was a change of fruit from Kanun to Dali. For my winning attempt I stabbed Power Web, 4 inner pieces, like 7 or so agility trainings, recovered SP, ate my Dali fruit and then swept his entire team. This was pretty fun to figure out. I defeated him at plus 25% levels, so I get extra bragging points for the big achievement. But I maybe could have put the levels even higher and stabbed more on Scintilla and have gotten even more out of this run. But, this is all I got for now. Now time for the chilling reception of Vørst. First attempt was set up with Mighty Roars, Inner Peace and Moonlight Hills. However, he has access to Splash, so Special Artist is mandatory. With this, I am able to almost perpetually outstall him, but the moment I attack and trigger Pure Essence, I get frozen and my stat buffs go away. For a while, I actually used a Cranny Fruit to not be vulnerable on a freeze stun, but Revitalizer still gives me a bigger advantage in the long run. My final setup was max HP with Inner Peace, Rubber Web, Spectral Artist and Moon Disc. I lost quite a few times, but if I had been paying more attention, I could have won like 5 attempts quicker. The final puzzle piece that leads to victory is setting up the webs at the proper times and a little dash of stall to make use of menacing and get the free SP recover turn on Vørst when I get frozen, so I can set back up and then obliterate him while he is still recovering. After that we have the quad Crimsonite battle. Levels skill I fought Coromon once, so I had to go back and reset them after plus 25% levels kicked my butt. After that I tried a physical build, but Milidont and Yuka have high defense stats, so that didn't work. I switched over to the special build with Inner Peace, Power Rock, and both Moon Disc and Ball of Darkness. The logic being that I would use the special attack boost on Ball of Darkness to beat Milidont to one turn earlier, but it didn't really matter in the end. For the second batch of guys I set up a bit more and also lined up my crit meter beforehand, so it would crit and decimate them both at the same time. But in reality it only crits one time, and it happened to be on the wrong one, Dumasect, leaving the only threat Yuka Claw still alive and well. I managed to win since Yuka Claw was feeling playful and he only used bubble blowers, so I managed to avoid the crisis, but yeah. As I headed deeper into the Sun Temple, I was finally face to face with Chalchiu. The road ahead was tough, but I was ready. After all, nothing can top the light Sensei despair I felt before. To be honest, I had no idea if I could really beat him, because Lunarpup is made of paper, and I have PTSD from the Shadowrun sound. But the man who says he can, and the man who says he cannot, are both right, so let's just jump right in. My first strategy was trying to stop Howls, poison him with Poison Chomp, and switch to Soul Crash after to make his special attack weaker and keep attacking until he goes down. How it went, you ask? Well, let me just sit my ass down, bro. What am I doing? I can't feel my legs. So yeah, I turned off Smarter Coromon and lowered his level a bit to warm up and maybe restore my ego. I also leveled myself up to level 99 because obviously. I started with attempts at level 35 and gradually increased this level, but I realized that the best practice is on the real thing, so after a few more attempts at gradually increasing levels, I just jumped back to level 70. For my strategy, it was obvious my first one won't work, so I just mixed and mismatched my skills until I had something that stuck. But the attempts were long and merciless, and as any soldier in a long campaign, my morale began to drop. I wanted to actually make use of all this pain and make a video where I piled 1 hour of Chalchiu attempts with some ambient music, and I titled it something like, "Come grind with me, 1 hour of Chalchiu attempts." But then I saw a ray of light. Bro, why is that? Why is it so bright? Chalchiu's Sun Temple is a bright blue at best. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, my winning attempt only, out of like 50 recordings I recorded, got corrupted. I have no enemies, but after that, I was ready to say bad morning to my teacher. Seeing this after all the celebratory images and messages I sent on Discord and YouTube, and obviously the time I spent getting to this point, I was dreading opening my save, and seeing if all the save had already been triggered from me walking downstairs in mom's house or something. Because if it had, I would need to replay the whole game and record a new attempt, or just give up and make the video without the Chalchiu footage. And both options would be absolutely devastatingly disastrous, but I had to see if it really was over for real before giving up. As I slowly opened the game, I could feel my heart beat through my chest. I tapped the save file and peeked inside. I will save to try again, and with that, let me show you the winning strat. It is Spectralitis, Howl, Screech, and Poison Chomp. This seems suicidal with a Trouble Web or Mighty Roar, as I just mentioned how I get PTSD from the Shadowrun sound. However, this is a necessary sacrifice. Both Trouble Web and Mighty Roar take a lot of turns to stop, only to end up prolonging the battle, giving more chances for my luck to turn sour. He only has one physical move, that being Shadowrun, compared to his 3 special moves, Splash, Bubble Blower, and Disruption. it's much more feasible to just try and get lucky on the physical side, with stat drops and attacks rather than just spread yourself too thin and just die anyway. Screech is also just OP. I got some ungodly luck on my first attempt back, but I fumbled it up in the end by not just dealing the finishing blow. So there is that 1 in 200 chance I missed that I will definitely cry myself to sleep over tonight. However, this was not the time to be discouraged, as just 3 rounds later, I was blessed with an even better run, one which I didn't fumble. It was a standard setup on my part, but she just kept using weak moves. After setting up to the max, I just poison jumped until she was no more, but her moves still kept hitting like warm hugs. All the Crimsonite skills toward my special attack only one after the other. I had to double check I wasn't misreading things. Normally the poison, menacing and high cost of Crimsonite skills gets Chalchiu to recover SP by now, but here she just kept spamming the low SP cost moves, so it didn't happen at all. Finally, on the last Shadow Rend, she finally lowered my special defense, but as she was already one step from being freed from the Wubonians, it didn't have any effect. So all the Crimsonite hits in the end had zero effect on my stats. However, her Sun Temple was now ruined. I mean, the Crimsonite cannot be good for everything else, like the pillars and stuff. I mean, this is just bound to collapse. So I took this opportunity and shot a newly built New York 2 square foot apartment with 5 roommates for only $3,000 a month. Quite a deal if I do say so myself. So, Chalchiu, you buying? I guess that's a no. I just gotta say that this run was something else. Lowering my special attack 3 times in a row is already 1 in 125. But to have all these bubble blowers and repeated disable heals in the beginning was also nothing short of insane. Hello everyone, and I'm gonna do some, what they call it, I'm gonna do a voiceover with a camera now. I don't know, it's kinda weird, the image is flipped. It's weird looking at myself while I'm recording, but I figured I'll give this a shot, maybe I like it. But yeah, anyway, now it's time to discuss the other things for the Lunarpup run. You know, we definitely had its shortcomings. You know, it had a date, it had well, basically the date led to everything else. You know, so I started this around what 8 months ago. I'm pretty sure. I started this around 8 months ago, and I'm only now finishing it when normally only it would take like 2 months, maybe 3, depends. So yeah, I kind of just kept procrastinating on the video. You know, in the beginning I was indeed feeling sorry for myself, but then I realized that I have free will. If I wanted to, I could just I could just turn to brain not content tomorrow, and nobody would be there to stop me. And so I just kind of let things take their own course, and only recently did I find the passion again to start recording. And who is this guy? Do I look like that? Nah, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I know that camera like distortion thingies happen, and that my face is also flipped. So yeah, it looks like a stranger. Like my elder brother actually. But yeah, just weird. So I definitely felt that it had a bunch of shortcomings on the pop run because of such a long runtime. You know, I recorded the videos around that time, and then a few months later I finished the script, and then a few months later I recorded it, and then a few more months later I did the editing. So basically it's all kind of out of sync, you know. Like whenever I moved on to the next step, the Alex that recorded the last step would already be like someone entirely different. So you know, having to like watch the gameplay and like listen to like old Alex, was kind of different feeling to what I'm used to. But I still pulled through. But indeed, because it was such a large time gap, I kind of lost a lot of footage along the way. You know, I bought an SD card to house all of my Lunarpup run videos, but everything else was still recording that previous quality, so it still looks like that, even though I have extra storage now. But let me see what else is there. So yeah, because everything was like so old, I had to go and redo a bunch of stuff. like let's say the audio for the Vørst up to Chalchiu 5. I had to redo that. Then I had to I had what do you call it? I had to yeah I had to like the I didn't have certain screenshots like that I used to take. I I maybe just forgot about them, but yeah, stuff like in that last cutscene with with Chalchiu and like with the save and stuff. I had to like fabricate that save. I had to like put it on top of everything else to like make it look like I still had the old save. When in reality, yeah, you know, it was 8 months ago, and I did beat the game again. That story was true, but I didn't have the screenshot anymore. I do it. I can't look myself in the eyes. Yeah,
Oh.
interesting. I notice like I keep looking to the side, but at the same time I'm checking for like the camera angles to make sure I like look okay. And yeah, it's still weird. Like, that's how side profile looks. I am chuffed to bits. I can't believe I used that. Anyway, um, even though this delay was kind of a bad thing, it also led to like uh, in like the slide sensei part, there was originally no second part to the cutscene. I joked about the Szechuan chicken, and then ha 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 ha. Okay, let us move on to Hozai. But I needed like extra time in the video to find out how to finish that quest, that cutscene, and I only recently finished it, even though the script is months old. Yeah, maybe 6 months, maybe 5 months. I'm not even really sure anymore. But yeah, everything is old, so it lost a lot of quality. My speaking ability has changed. Maybe right now isn't the best example because I'm speaking face to face with a stranger right there. You can't see my hand. In my perspective, it looks like I'm pointing towards the screen. Like I'm pointing towards the middle of the screen, but the camera is like to the left. So I have to point to the left there. Yeah, why are you there? So yeah, eye contact and camera contact is impossible. Okay. Um, yeah, that extra growth actually led to an extra part of light sensei, and I am happy with that part a lot. I must say it's quite impeccable. I really like the message. Every time I start a new run, I always think that, okay, this is it. This is what I run out of things to say. This is what I run out of interesting cutscenes to make. But I just keep doing it. I'm just that good. Can you believe it? Okay. What else do I need to talk about? Yeah, the actual Lunarpup run, not the April Fool's one, but yeah, I could actually talk about the April Fool's run too. Anyway, so the April Fool's run, it was really funny. Uh, the April Fool's video, it was really funny. You start off normal, and all of a sudden, brain out, boom, and your brain just starts melting, and yeah, it was very very funny, I must say. Yeah, the Lunarpup run will be out Saturday sometime, Saturday night. And for if you want it early, you can join the Discord. Link in the description or the comments. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, there's links everywhere. Just go click it. Just go ask me. I'll give it to you in the comments if you can't find it. And yeah, you can watch it the video there early. And yeah. Um, Actually, why would I be telling you this? Bro, you are watching the video, you finished watching the video, man. I confused this with another video that I'm planning to record right now, which announces the early Discord videos. Yeah, man, everything is just getting really weird. This is my trusty bottle. I've had it a bit longer than I've had this channel. So you guys are kind of like siblings. Yeah, wow. As you can see, it has plenty of war scars, I've dropped it plenty on the hard floor. It even comes with a bottle opener. Look at that, a free bottle opener on the bottle. That's just. I'm sorry, my genius is unrivaled. Alright, this Lunarpup run was not quite fun to make, you know. The experience turned out well, even though it could be better as always. I liked it. This is kind of fun to record, I know. I wouldn't have gotten to show you guys the battle otherwise, even though it's very important to me. Anyway, I guess that's about everything I have to say for now. So, you guys haven't seen me make an outro face to face for a while now. Let me readjust. Yeah, okay. Anyway, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a like. Don't give it a thumbs up. Like and subscribe. Like again because you just can't see the like. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Man, that was fun.